Hello friends, Meru here, and welcome back to another Mythology and Makeup Wednesday. Choo! Yay! Today we're going to be talking about Zeus and the creation of the 12 gods of the Pantheon. Gods and goddesses of the Pantheon, but I'm just gonna say gods in general. The 12 main gods of the Pantheon, which are, I'm again gonna be using the book because it's just easier to say the names and things from here. I think my camera's a little bit too high. Is this better? I think this is better. This is better. Anyways, the 12 gods of the Pantheon are Aphrodite, Apollo, Ares, Artemis, Athena, Demeter, Dionysus, Hephaestus, Hera, Hermes, Poseidon, and Zeus. So I'm gonna tell you all how they were born while I do my makeup. I was just gonna start talking without actually doing my makeup. Like, I have a cute dress on. Look at it. Look at how it accentuates my hips. It's a cute dress. I'm also wearing you can't see it. I can't lift my leg that high. But I'm wearing fishnets and some heels, and I'm trying to do kind of like a queen character, like an evil queen character for TikTok. I don't know if I'll have enough energy to do this shit today. I was gonna film this on a Tuesday so that I have enough time to edit it and have it up on YouTube early. But yesterday I wasn't really feeling that well physically or mentally. I was kind of depressed more than usual, so I just didn't do it. But today I'll try my best. I'll try my best and try to do as, you know, not as much editing as I should, but you know, because this one would have required a lot of editing, but fuck that, you know. Anyways, remember from last video, if you know, I'm gonna just give you a quick little recap of last video. So last video was the Greek creation myth, which started from chaos. You got Gaia. I forgot names. You see, you have Gaius and Uranus, who Gaia gave birth to Uranus to be her husband, and they had a bunch of babies. Kronos being one of them. You know, Titans. And Kronos talked to his mom. Like, well, Gaia talked to Kronos. He's like, "Hey, here, have a weapon, and I need you to help me." And then he's like, "All right." So he just went ahead and castrated his dad, and there are some mythologies that say that Kronos killed Uranus, but there are some that say that he just castrated him. He's castrated in both of them, but he's just like, and some of them just say that he died. Some say he didn't die. But for the sake of talking, let's just say that he's not dead, because he's a god. I doubt. He's the sky. He's a god. He is the sky itself. So I doubt you could kill him, you know, since we technically still have a sky. So I'm just gonna, for the sake of keeping it canon, I'm just gonna say he didn't die. He was just castrated. So after that man got castrated, from his semen and sea foam, a combination of both of those, our goddess Aphrodite was born. She's the goddess of love and sex and passion and all that shit, all that good shit. She's a goddess of all of that. And he then Kronos, the one who stabbed him and castrated him, he then became the new god, the new like main god, the ruler of the earth, with his sister and wife Rhea, and from then came the Pantheon. However, it was not that easy. It's not as easy as it sounds, because like his father Uranus, Kronos was a dick. He was an asshole like every other man, because like why am I not surprised? No offense, dude, but all offense. Anyways, this man, he wanted Rhea for himself only. He didn't want anybody else touching his wife. He wanted her for his sexual needs and his sexual needs only. That's not nice. And every time that Rhea gave birth to a child, he would swallow it. Now, there's different instances as to why Kronos ate his children. There's one that says that the reason that he started eating his children is because a prophet told him that one of his children was going to beat him and become the new god. So he didn't want that, so he started eating his children. Another one just says that he was just a dick and he just didn't want anybody else to give attention to his wife other than himself. He didn't want like his wife's attention on anyone but himself, basically. These are two different like stories that have been told. There's two different instances of it. No one really knows which is the real one, so that's why I'm telling you both of them. Now, whichever one is real doesn't really matter because in the end, he still swallows all his children. I'm gonna tell you the order on which his children were born, just so that you have an idea. Hold on, it's somewhere here in the book. I didn't highlight it this time because I was kind of like crunching in time. But let's see. Yeah. So she first so first it was Hestia, then Demeter, then Hera, then Hades, who's the first male, then was Poseidon, and then it was and then the last child to be born was your boy Zeus. Now, all the time, like every time that a child was born, like Kronos barely even gave any time for Rhea to even like see the kid. Like the child barely have any time to even like breathe before this man just swallowed the child whole. He didn't even like bite him. He was like, whole, just chomp. And he thought that he was killing them, but these are gods. They don't die that easily. You can't just swallow and pretend that they're dead. They're not. That was a weird sentence for me to say. That was a weird sentence. Anyways, anywhoozits, unfortunately for him, those kids were not dead. They were growing inside of him. Yeah, Greek mythology is it's very interesting. Do you see why I like it? It's weird as hell, but it's so fun. Anyways, these children were growing inside of him. They were still growing, and they were growing not only in size and like in just growing in general, but they were also growing in resentment. These kids hated their fucking dad for swallowing them and not letting them live, as they should. Oh, my mom just sent me a message. Oop, 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 oop. You can right now. I'm doing makeup. It's lunchtime, but I won't eat until I'm done with this shit. Anyways, so Rhea was tired of this shit, as she should be, and she went to her mom, and some story says that also her dad, Uranus, some of them he's alive and some of them he's dead. That's why in the beginning I said that, it depends. So she goes to her mom, who suffered through the same thing, technically, sort of. Hers is less painful physically. And she just basically goes to her mom and she's like, hey, I need to fucking do something about it. And Gaia, being Gaia, she was like, I got you. So they made up a plan, and next time that Rhea had a child, which was Zeus, he's the youngest kid. He's the youngest baby. So before, when she had the baby, before Kronos had the time to come in, she switched her baby with a rock. So she hit the baby, she hit Zeus, and switched him with a rock. Kronos, not thinking, because he's a man, no offense, but also all the offense. Kronos, he was just basically like, he just swallowed the rock whole. He just like, fuck this, and he just swallowed the rock whole. And so now the rock was inside of him. and Zeus was saved. He was taken to a different island across the world, and do I have to say all the names? There's so many names. There's so many people involved in this. Hold on. Oh, there's so many people involved in this. Okay, so Zeus was... Wrong page. That was the wrong page. Yeah, Zeus was taken to a different the island of Crete. How could I forget the island of Crete? I'm stupid. I am stupid. I am retarded. I have ADHD. I don't remember shit. I don't remember shit ever. I forgot my own birthday ones. Let's just leave it at that. And there he was like, he went through a lot of different people, but he ended up with a nymph, called Adamanthea, although in some sources it's Amalthea. Well, this nymph was scared that Kronos was gonna find the baby, because, you know, Kronos is a very powerful god, and he has the senses of the entire earth. So, she hung him from a rope that dangled between the earth and the heavens, so he wouldn't be able to see it, and then she did a bunch of other tricks so that if Zeus cried or something, he would hear it. There's a bunch of tricks. If you want specific details, look it up. Those details are not important. They're just ways that she kept Zeus from being found out by his dad. And they always knew that if Kronos ever found out that Zeus was still alive, he would go mad and he would go ahead and try to kill him. And when they finally met, Zeus was ready. This man had grown, and he was ready to beat the shit out of his dad and get his siblings back. And that's what he did. So he punched this man in the gut. And he jagurgitated, is that the word? Jagurgitated all of the children, including the Rock, all by in order of the last swallowed. So first was the Rock, then was Poseidon, then was Hades, then all the girls and all that. What was it? Hestia was the last one, because she's the oldest, but now technically she's the youngest because she was the last one to be reborn. I'm telling you, it's weird. It's some weird shit. It's some extremely weird shit, because, you know, Greek mythology is weird, but I love it. It's incredible. And from after that, they drew straws. Not exactly drew straws, but just kind of played a drawing straw game to see who would get different parts of the world. So they divided the world into 3 different main areas for the 3 boys, because misogyny exists, apparently. Misogyny exists everywhere. What the fuck am I talking about? Anyways, they drew straws, and Zeus, he became the god of the sky. Poseidon became the god of the ocean, and Hades, he hated it, but he couldn't do anything about it. He became the god of the underworld, you know, of Hades. The underworld, hell, whatever the hell you want to call it. Some people just call it Hades, the land of Hades, or hell, or the underworld. Everybody calls it differently, you know? And it's fine. Everybody has their own way of calling things. I got scared by this. I was like, what the fuck is this? It's a little thing for my eyebrows. I need to fix my eyebrows, my chubby, my bushy ass eyebrows. I have something up here. Anyways, yeah. And Zeus, just like his dad, picked his sister as his wife. Him and Hera got married, and Hera is the goddess of, like, she is the goddess of marriage, but she isn't really credited for being the goddess of marriage, you know, because Aphrodite is the main goddess of, like, love and romance and sexuality and all that. So she's not really credited for it. And she's usually only known as, like, the bad aspects of marriage and things like jealousy and pettiness and all that kind of stuff. And which is it's not fun. It's not fun because she deserves better, bro. Everyone only sees her as like, oh my gosh, she's like Zeus's wife. No, she's a lot more than that. She's a fucking goddess, dude. Like, she's a fucking goddess. Does this even look good? I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks like a good combination. This shit doesn't really blend good. I'm already planning on buying some nice, like, colorful makeup. Very pigmented, colorful makeup. Like, these, it doesn't look bad. It's just, like, similar to my skin color. Anyways, I'm gonna try to do some eyeliner, so. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do eyeliner off screen, and I'll come back in a second. Hold on. Okay, so it's not anything fancy. I just wanted to just add, like, a little bit more dimension to my eyes to make them look a little bit bigger. Even though I have gigantic ass eyes, but I wanted to accentuate the color and, like, the shading of the colors. Looks okay. Anyways, okay, so now they all became, where the fuck is my sponge? Where the fuck is my sponge? Did it fall? It was in the ground. My sponge was in the ground, just like my hopes and dreams. And my self-esteem as well. They're all in the ground. Soon to be underground. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. So they drew straws, and then they all had their respective areas. The goddesses did their own thing, you know, and Hestia ended up leaving the gods because they were all petty motherfuckers. So she was like, I don't want to deal with this shit. So she left. At some point, not at the beginning, she left at some point later, but the one that took her place in the Pantheon was, what's his fucking name? I forget names, but I need to know them. Like, I love this, he's one of my favorite gods, and I still forgot his name. I'm drawing a blank. I'm legit drawing a blank. How could he's one of my favorite gods. How could I forget his name? Dionysus. Jesus fucking Christ. I literally, my brain just shut off. My brain just hit that window. It was like, just, noom, fucking error sound. It just shut down. It just fucking shut down. Like, anyways, after Hestia left, it was Dionysus who took her place, even though, like, Dionysus probably didn't even want to be there. He's one of those gods that he's too chill to give a fuck. He's just like, I'm just here for the party. And he often was. Like, he's the god of wine. He's the god of wine and parties. This man had constantly lived in parties and orgies. That's all he did. That's all he ever did. Just orgies and parties. That's it. That's all this man ever did, and that's all he needed to do. Like, what else would you need? What else do you need to do if you're the god of wine? Just have parties. Like, what else? Like he was just there for the fun of it, you know? And he wasn't the only one. There was a bunch of other gods there that weren't from the original. There's a lot of other ones that were just children of Zeus, like Ares and Artemis, and my personal favorite, Hermes. I would tell you he's my personal favorite because not only is he cool as fuck, powerful as hell, and he's also my deity. I worship him. Yeah, I'm really excited for the time that we get to actually talk about him specifically, because I love him. He's amazing. He's straight up amazing. But as you all probably know, or if you don't, now you know, the Greek gods weren't what we would normally consider gods. They were very, very human. They had very human personalities, they were petty as shit. They were selfish as fuck. They were not what we would consider gods, you know, here, like, all powerful, they don't have emotions shit. You know, like the Christian god who's supposed to be some omnipotent being, but also kind of a dick. You know, like, cancer in children is something I'm gonna do because I am God and I can do it. Like, you can worship whatever the fuck you want, honey, but I'm not gonna worship a god that lets children die of cancer. You know? I'm just gonna keep to myself over here. But a lot of the gods, a lot of them, this is for blush. It's not what I'm looking for. None of these are, I don't even use that. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with that. Anyway, but yeah, a lot of the god, there was a lot of drama. It was like a soap opera, and Greeks, they didn't really worship Greek gods. They kind of treated them like lords, like they're kings. They gave them sacrifices if they wanted something in return, and usually only if they wanted something in return, like protection or a specific request. You know, there were towns that they, like, every year they would give them like a sacrifice of like an animal or something, specifically to protect their town from disease or storms and things like that. There was the you know like Wonder Woman, Themyscira, you know, there was like the island of warrior woman, those were from Artemis. And Artemis was worshipped as like a hunting goddess, but also a war goddess. Her and her brother Ares, who are, yes, Zeus's kids, like everybody else, like the majority of everybody else. Ares is, he's not necessarily liked by people. Not that many people really like Ares. Not for anything of his own fault. Like, he's not a bad dude. Like, maybe he had a bit of anger problems, a little bit, but he wasn't necessarily like a bad dude. And he himself doesn't really have like many many stories about him. He doesn't really come out in many stories, precisely because the Greek people didn't like him. They respected him because he was the god of war, but they didn't like him because, unlike his twin sister Artemis, he was the bad side of war. He was death and famine and hatred and the main reason why, like, wars happen. So they respected him, yes, but they did not like him. They didn't want anything to do with him. So not many stories were written about him. He wasn't really talked about that much. And the majority of the things that we know about Ares come from his involvement in other gods' stories. He's not really that popular. Again, no fault of his own. He was just kind of given the bad end of the stick, you know? The short end of the stick, is that the saying? No, bad end of the short end of the stick. Stupid. Kind of look cute though. I'm gonna add some lip, and I'll be right back. And voila. I accentuated my beauty mark because I do have a tiny little beauty mark there. But you can't really see it when I put on makeup, so I just gotta accentuated it. They look like a badass fucking, like, queen now. Just like, bow down to me, peasant. Or do I just look cute? I just look cute. Okay, so, to summarize, Kronos, started eating his children because he's a dick. The last child to be born, Zeus, was saved, and, he came back for revenge and punched his dad in the gut, so that his dad threw up all the children that he had eaten. And among all those children came, you know, the gods of the Pantheon. And aside from the regular gods of the Pantheon, there were a bunch of Zeus's children who also became part of the Pantheon. I do have a list here, right over here, as you can see, that has a description of them and like symbols of them. So I'm gonna tell you what those are, just so that, because it's fun, it's interesting to know, and I have a cute, like a fun little facts about each god to come with it. So the first one here is Aphrodite. She's the goddess of love and beauty, and was often shown with a scepter, a myrtle, and a dove. So her main visuals are like a myrtle and a dove, specifically a dove, because a dove is the bird of love. You know, it's like when anything romantic happens, there's like a little dove and stuff, because you know it's because of Aphrodite, because she's the goddess of love, and her bird is the dove. Now, most of the gods, not all of them, but most of them do have a weapon, an animal, and some sort of plant to represent them. So, and hers is the scepter, the myrtle, and the dove. I would have put a bunch of pictures here to describe, but I don't have time to edit today, so yeah. Because I would have time to edit if I could use my computer, but my computer is dead, so can't wait to get a new one. Can't wait to build my own fucking PC so that I can do live streams and play video games and actually edit my fucking videos, because I can't edit on my phone. I physically cannot edit on my phone. I don't know. It's too much. I don't know. I need a bigger screen. I'm blind. I need a bigger screen. Anyways, hello, editor Meru here. You can, I already took my makeup off, and my eyes look like someone punched me. Here's my little baby, right here, taking a little nappy nap. Cutting off in the middle of the video just to say, I mess up, because I'm dyslexic as fuck. In the next part, I mess up, Apollo's thing. I treat him like Ares for a while. I'm just gonna say, I do clarify it at the, a little bit later on, once I reach Aries, but, just to say it just before you start thinking of anything that I said it wrong. Yes, I know, I'm dyslexic. Apollo and Artemis are they both start with A. That's enough for my brain to be like, same person, you know? So just have that in mind for the next part of the video, because I mess up a lot. But I clarify it eventually, so, yeah. Sorry. There's also Apollo, which I already talked about. He was an archer, but he also played the lyre, and the laurel symbolized his love for Daphne. So, I forgot who Daphne was. It might come up again, like, later, when I actually talk about Ares, or maybe some other mythological story. But yeah, he played the lyre. The lyre will come up in other stories. Once I start talking about Hermes, you'll know where the lyre came from. And his main weapon was the bow. Again, he's the god of war, and he's the god of the bad aspects of war. So he's all the bad things that come with war. So that's why he wasn't really loved that much. He was respected, but he wasn't really worshipped as, you know, as all the other gods, because people kind of didn't like him. For no reason of his own, because he couldn't really control that. He was just the god of war, and people didn't like war, so they didn't really like him. However, wait, no. I'm stupid. I'm gonna have to cut all this. Yeah, Apollo is the god of the sun. Apollo is the god of the sun. I am stupid. Apollo's the god of the sun, not the god of war. That's Ares. They all have similar names. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic. I thought it was the right one. No. Apollo's the god of the sun. Everyone loves Apollo. Apollo's great. He plays a lyre. You know, he's a great dude. Everybody loves Apollo. Ares is the god of bloodthirsty war. And he's only known for the spear. You know, he only has his spear. I was confused. I was like, wait, the god of war, he doesn't wear a bow. It's because I'm stupid. It's because I'm fucking stupid. I'm gonna leave this in. I'm gonna leave this in so you can see how stupid I am. I love this shit, but I'm still stupid as fuck. Anyways, Yeah, Ares is the god of war, the bloodthirsty war, the bad side of war, and his is a spear. Then there's Artemis, his twin sister. She's the hunting goddess, but she's also the goddess of war. But the good things from war, you know, the battle and no, not even battle. She's the good things of like fighting for the things that you love and like, you know, protection and camaraderie and shit like that. She's the good side of war, and hers was the bow and the deer. So her weapon is the bow, and then her animal's the deer. We don't really know what her like plant or flower was. And there's Athena. She's a goddess of wisdom, and she's a goddess of wisdom and knowledge and all the good stuff. Her weapon was a shield, the Aegis, and she carried a torch in bit to find her daughter. No, wait, that's the wrong one. I'm dyslexic as fuck. No, the shield, her bird is the owl, because, you know, owls are wise. That's where you get the owls are wise thing, because it was, I need to put this shit close to my eyes so I can actually fucking read. Because Athena is a goddess of wisdom, and her animal is the owl, all that good stuff, and then her fruit, or like her plant, is the olive tree. It's the olive tree. Demeter, she's the scepter-wielding harvest goddess. So she's the goddess of harvest, and as she wields the scepter, and the torch that I mentioned earlier is because she was trying to find Persephone, and she has the torch, which apparently has some symbolism. And then grain, because, you know, goddess of harvest, grain is important. Then there's Dionysus, the one that I couldn't remember the name of. He's the god of wine. He was crowned by ivy, and he bore a Thyrsus, it's like a weird plant thing, but it's supposed to represent pleasure. So, you know, he's the god of pleasure and parties and fun. You know, he's the fun god. He's the one you want to bring to your parents, you know? Then there's Hephaestus, which we don't really know that much about Hephaestus. We just know that he is a powerful god, and he is basically their blacksmith. He's the one that makes all the weapons for the gods and all the like interesting shit, all the weapons, everything, he makes them. He's the one that makes every single one of the weapons, including Zeus's fucking lightning strikes. I think. Was that only in the movies? I don't know. I don't remember. At this point, anything goes, honestly. Then we have Hera, you know. It says Zeus's queen, but, you know, we know she's not just Zeus's queen. She's the goddess of marriage. She's amazing. She carried a scepter and wore a crown because she's a queen, and her bird is a peacock because they're pretty, just like her. Then there's Hermes, my favorite. He's the messenger god of the dead, but he's also the god of poverty, the god of, you know, messages, of the god of travel. He's the god of a lot of things, and his symbol is here. It only says that it's the winged boots and the caduceus, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's this thing, you know, like the medicine. I don't know if it'll focus. This thing, you know, that you see in like medicine and stuff. That's his. I have it because, you know, I worship him, so I have it around. It's kind of like my personal cross, so I have that around. And it doesn't say it here, but his plant is the crocus. The symbol of his plant is the crocus. It's the crocus flower that he himself planted on a mountain using the blood of his lover, Crocus. Yeah, he named the flower after his lover. And yes, we stand a bisexual king in this house. The majority of the Greek gods are bisexual anyways, but yeah, Hermes is straight up, he had a lover who was male, and the guy died, and he turned him into a flower just to keep him close forever. To make him basically like immortal, but he just kept him as a flower because he would have died otherwise. We got Poseidon, our boy Poseidon, who is the sea god. He wields a trident, and for some reason, his animals are the bull and the horse, even though he's a sea god. Don't ask me. I don't know either. And then there's your boy Zeus, which is the thunderbolt, the eagle, and the oak, because he's like, you know, he's strong. He's a very strong boy. I didn't mention in there Hades or Hestia, because they're not considered part of the Pantheon. Hades is part of the underworld, so he doesn't live with the other gods, and Hestia fucking left, because she was like, I am tired of all y'all's bullshit drama, so I'm just gonna go. So she started living with the humans. She's just like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Yeah, and Hades isn't really considered, like, part of the Pantheon either, because he's the god of the underworld. He's always down there. He barely ever, like, actually leaves the underworld. He's often found there. Like, that's his place. That's where he lives constantly. So he's not really considered part of the Pantheon. But that's where the gods come from. That's where the Greek Pantheon comes from, how they were formed. And it shows out to tell you that all men are trash. Not all of them, but the majority are trash. We only stand Dionysus, Hades, and Hermes in this house, because those are the only two that actually don't commit atrocious crimes. And also, like Hermes is just cool. He's powerful as fuck. Once we get to his story, you're gonna learn how powerful this man is. Hades is just a really cool husband dude. He's like husband material straight up. And then Dionysus, he's just fun. He's just a fun dude. He's just a god of wine. He just likes to drink wine and party. And we stand. We need some more of that kind of energy in this house. So the makeup's done, the story is done, and next time I actually have to look at what story comes next time. Because I personally have no fucking clue. So we started off with that story. I think the next story is the war with the Titans, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the War of the Gods and the Titans. That's what's coming up next time. So if you're interested in what happens after in the Greek mythology story, follow me with the big red button down below. Subscribe to me. Subscribe to me. Subscribe, turn on the notifications if you want or not. I don't know how those work. But yeah, just, subscribe, like this video, and comment what you think about the Greek gods. What are your thoughts on it? What do you think about all this? I'm gonna straight up tell you, I personally do believe in Greek gods. I worship one of them, and I do believe in all the other gods. Like, I believe that every religion has truth to it. Every religion comes from something, and their gods are real. Whatever their stories themselves say is a hit or miss. Because, for example, Greek mythology, there's a bunch of stories that contradict each other. Like I said earlier with, like, Cronus either killing his dad or castrating and killing him, or just castrating him. We don't know the full story. Same with, like, Medusa. We don't know her. Some people, there's a bunch of different debates based on, like, what she really did to turn into Medusa, to have all, like, the snakes in her hair. There's a lot of different things that come from that. Some say that she was born like that, and some say that she was cursed by Athena. Was it Aphrodite? They all have such similar names. My fucking ADHD cannot take. I need to actually, like, fucking read their names. That's why I have a fucking book. But once we get to those stories, you're gonna see I'll go more in detail into, like, different stories, different aspects of things that are told. But as for today, we are over. So like and subscribe if you want more of this. And I'll see you next time. Yay! Goodbye! Have a great day, night. Have a great time. Bye-bye. Meru out.